Yeah. Nah, man. You know we gotta do a joint for the ladies, right? So every club worldwide, we gonna move y'all like this. Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. It's Friday night when the club lines be out the door. Watch the silly.
So you ready for your sports?
Maybe.
I hope they dressed appropriately, damn it. Victor Allen's New Sports is a unique fan-based view of sports, a recurring segment of the Morning Coffee with Mario show. Every Monday, join us. There he is, Victor Allen, the bald-headed black man. Rub his head and make a wish. The ladies have nicknamed him Sexual Chocolate. There he is, everybody, in sports. It's Vic. It's sports, people. Sports Pride with Jock Straps.
Oh, well. Yeah, right. Hey, man, you know what? All I'm going to talk about is, I don't know if you caught it all, dude. I think you were working your butt off and probably didn't catch everything that happened with what I call the greatest baseball game I've ever witnessed, period, hands down.
Well, I did miss parts of it, even though it's luckily I was able to get the gist of, and for the first time, I have to admit, because I'm not a baseball fan.
Man, you should have been one.
So it was an exciting game for the casual fan or for the person who's not a fan. It actually still was exciting.
Man, you know, it's so funny because I know for the guys that's working it and the ladies who's working it from the professional point of view, that's 5.5 hours. But this was one of those things that every man up, every time you didn't want to leave to take a break, whether it's a commercial or not, you had to stay there because every inning, every batting opportunity, it was a swing. You know, literally, Mario, if you're sitting back going like, okay, it's 8th innings, Astros, they got 3 runs up, Dodgers, you know, the chances are you're going to make it for 3, and the next you know, that's what's happening. It kept coming. It just never stopped. I kept trying to use words. I was going speechless, emotional swings. I know I was looking at the Frank Thomas, former Major League Baseball player. The post show, he just leaned back like this, like, my God, it took you on a roller coaster, man. So my point is that the experience, to me, did something that you're probably not getting, dude, from the other sports conglomerates. I'm going to call them that because that's what they are. Football, basketball's just starting for its season. And, you know, the football thing is clouded with all the, you know, the rights for those who are disenfranchised and the abuse and the flag. This, to me, was like watching one of your favorite boxing matches, the ultimate match you want to see. It was like I won't even say Holyfield Tyson fight. I would just sit there and say on a level of what they call baseball, home run is king. And the reason why I'm saying that is that they are so evenly matched that literally you don't look for that part where there's a weak player that you go, oh, well, I ain't got to worry about these two here. They're not going to be hitting anything. And at the end of the day, you end up going, I want it more. It was the best time that I said, whoever loses, and I'm rooting for the Dodgers, but I love Houston's energy, man. I do. I love their energy, but I'm Dodgers. So I don't know if you got that feeling because you probably didn't see it. And will you get that feeling again for the next 2 games that's coming up?
I got it, and I had moments. I have to, like I said, for me, it was probably the most exciting baseball event of my lifetime. Now, that's important because I'm not really a baseball fan. And I think for Major League Baseball, this has really been a win-win for them, this whole series.
Timing.
Now, I don't know if it's going to translate into more viewership during the season. That's what you hope, Vic, because baseball has been dealing with ongoing decline, as general sports across,
right,
in certain ways in terms of viewership. But maybe this signals a turn toward increased viewership, but at least for them as an event,
Yeah.
It's been a successful Super Bowl, right?
Man.
It's been a successful event in a sense. The whole playoff has been a successful event in terms of getting the ratings, getting people out there to watch.
Yep.
And it continues to draw those of us to watch. So I agree. I think with you, I think it's a big deal. I hope that it continues for them, some continued success.
Right.
But yet to be seen, and additionally the other sports too, because they are dealing one way or another with some of the politics, but all of that ultimately affects every sport. So we'll see what happens when baseball gets theirs.
And not to take away, and I'm not going to even get into it, they've only had one kneeler, when I say kneeler, during the national anthem in baseball. And I cannot remember his name, so my apologies. I wasn't trying to follow the thread on the story, but all I know is that the baseball player, I think he's a catcher, went into a particular place. I don't know if it was an eatery or not. And the person said, "You're the person who kneeled during the baseball game, and they're not going to serve you." So they've only had that one speck, whereas everything else, they've been shielded away mostly from it. So by that, I like the getaway that you're just watching what I call young teams that's going to be around for a while. They're going to be around for a while as it relates to these players. Houston definitely is going to be around a while. Dodgers, you see what's happened and developed. Now, let me just give the facts for the people who didn't see it. Okay, they won in the 10th inning, 13-12. What's the main story? Man, Clayton Kershaw, man, knocked out. Their pitcher, ace, Dallas Keuchel, both knocked out before they can get to the 5th inning completely. The game is, and this is the guy, Clayton, regarded as the best baseball pitcher in major leagues. The hitting is taking over the pitching. So who hits last probably is who's going to win. Now their ace, Justin Verlander, comes up for game 6, which they broke through on Justin, but he's the one that's supposed to close it out. So that's not my question. My question is, when you cement your legacy, and your name is Clayton Kershaw, and this is your time to shine, do you feel bad for him because 3-time Cy Young Award winner, he's never delivered in playoffs, and now he's got knocked out during his time? This is his game now. He's supposed to deliver. They lose. Will his legacy be tarnished by this?
Of course, as it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a matter of casting dispersion. We're not wishing bad. It is what it is. That's why champions are called champions.
Right.
You're a champion because in times that are tough,
Right.
that you come through and shine. That's why we're acknowledging you as a champion. There's always second place and third place and also ran, and I'm in favor of those. But I don't want to call you champion unless you earn it. So there you go.
Yeah. And I'm not knocking on him. Look,
Yeah.
let me just say this.
You have to earn it.
They broke a record, and I remember where I was, too. I'm not going to tell you where I was hanging out at. But I remember the Barry Bonds area where that year he was hitting all kinds of home runs. Everybody was going nuts. And they actually the Angels battled San Francisco for the World Series, which ultimately the Angels won. And everybody was watching every hit with Barry Bonds. And it was just, they set that record of the most home runs in a series. This one has been broken. Of course, this record has been broken because they hit a whole total of 22 home runs, which is now history making. So we have a series here where they're making history. Now, here's the other part of it. Part of that history is going to be tied to Clayton because he's allowed 8 home runs off of his pitching experience, which almost like if they don't come out of this winning, period, I don't know if they can come back to the World Series title. He'll be 30 years old next year, and I root for him all day long, man. I root for him because I like his how he carries himself, what he does. He's a regular season phenom, but when it's time to deliver, it ain't happening. I feel bad, man, and I don't know how to look at it. I want Houston to get all it can because it'll be his first World Series title. But I want the Dodgers because, we've been out here for almost 30 years. You know how it is, Mario. This is a baseball country. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it a Lakers country, bro?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Is it going to be a Rams country or Chargers country? What country are we in right now?
It's up in the air.
Right. All right. Hey, just to give you an idea for those who are in those baseball facts, how even this was. Both teams had 14 hits, 1 error, and the deciding factor is Dodgers has 12 runs, Houston had 13. Separated by 1. So when you have 5 hours, 5.5 hours, can you guys do that again? Can you bring that again on Game 6? Look, I'll take it if they can do one up this game like that. Even if the Dodgers, I don't want them to lose, they bring me this kind of excitement, I'm on. So I'm hoping Game 7. Absolutely. Mark, what's your prediction? They out in 6 or 7?
Oh, no, it goes all the way.
Oh, you think? Oh, so you're saying Verlander, this game coming up is over. It's over for Verlander. He gets knocked out. We go to the Game 7.
Well, let's just say we go to a Game 7.
You're going Game 7. Your money on who you choosing, man?
Money, and I'm not putting any money.
Wait a minute, man. Come on.
I'm choosing the Dodgers.
You're choosing that, but you ain't putting no
Dodgers.
money. No money. Come on, man.
Dodgers.
All right. Okay. All right. So, hey, look, I'm not going to talk about anything else because right now, a lot of Southern California, LA, they are exhausted. I mean, I literally was exhausted from the emotional swings, and I think it's one of the best performances I've ever seen. Now I got to take you over to the other side. You know, they say, Houston, you got a problem. But it may be a good problem, and it may not be as bad. First of all, let me applaud Deshaun Watson. When his coach at Clemson says, I don't understand why you guys won't take this guy number 1. They've already talking about him. He went into Seattle. They lost by 3 points, 41-38. Russell Wilson did his job, but this guy is a comer. So they're talking that he will soon be a top 5 quarterback. Now, that being said, I'm cheering for him because right now, Mario, I'm telling you, hands down, there are certain quarterbacks I look forward to looking at. It's like Aaron Rodgers. You know what Tom Brady's going to do. But you're looking at this guy, bigger than Russell, arms just as strong, the intelligence, reading the field. He went into Seattle, man, like, I'm not in awe of this place. I'm gonna work it like I own it. So now, setting the story up, that's what I like. Now here's the other part. CEO McNair says inmates or quarterback rising. You ever see somebody actually go, all you have to do is keep your mouth shut? And now you're caught between
the president's
right. Look, wait a minute. You're literally got a star-studded quarterback who is elevating your team, and you go inmates. So now
he's the news more than the other one.
I
didn't even think about. But you're right. You're right because I didn't even think about Deshaun Watson in the midst of all of this. I was waiting for see who was going to be. Yeah, that's bad.
This is one of those things where the timing could. This is where you turn around and say, even if you're right, and I'm not siding with that, he's right, not at all. Your timing, you just ignited. You just kind of reignited something. If you would, from the perspective of what they call the Trump theory, where they go, you don't add, don't say anything, just keep your damn mouth shut. He opened it up, and now we have a new flashpoint with Houston because they're going, and they've already had that meeting with him, and some walked out not being happy. Not productive. So now you have this quarterback who can stimulate your whole community. He is now second fiddle deep because the other players are going, it's bigger than him.
And the NFL doesn't want to deal with the fact that, they have some racist owners, and there you go.
Right.
So they have to deal with that, too. It's unfortunate that it does overshadow. To tell you the truth, I'm always mixed in between boycotting halfway, keeping track of the news on another hand. I went looking for, because it wasn't shown here, I went looking for the beginning of the Houston game. Just to find out what happened. I actually was jumping around the news and sports things. And then I actually found reports where they were reporting on it substantially, actually, on some of the news networks. On the sports news network. So that was the news more than Deshaun Watson. I actually found reports here talking about, everybody was and then commentary from sports people about the owner. So that was a big deal, and that was the news.
Yeah, it was. And that's the part where I'm saying it just got in the way. Not that it wasn't going to be there anyway. I believe they were going to have a meeting. There was going to be a meeting, and a consensus of several meetings will probably be taking place to address these issues, because each owner has to sit back and at least have a conversation. At least that's the step you take forward. The idea that they can't get out of their way in these quotes, man. It's that old school bullshit.
Well, it's old racist with big mouths.
You hope Bob McNair fires them all.
There you
go. See, that's what I'm saying. And all I'm saying is if it's about the money, believe it or not, and I'm looking at what you're saying now, Bob McNair don't want to fire his players. It's about money. It ain't about. It's not.
Right.
It's not about. It's not about whether they're right or wrong. He has to operate a business. So if he wants to take his foot and put us and say, you guys are wrong, move aside. I said, he's going to be losing a lot of money. So how do you remedy something here? He can't be bullish on the players and say, I don't give a damn about them, because he has an operation that has to sustain itself. Money's already invested. It's already rolling. New stadium, more recent new stadium in the last decade or so. He can't ignore it. He just puts himself in harm's way even more. And then Houston is already trying to recover from the hurricane. All these things are coming in to lose money. It will trickle down. If he's not getting his return on value, people will be getting laid off. It will affect the economy all around. It all is systemic to people will all of a sudden have collateral damage. But he'll get to say his opinions because he's Bob McNair.
He's old.
Yeah, all right. I'm just saying, man. All right. So, hey, I'm not going to talk about any other football games unless you want to talk about that slashing that Miami got, the Zippo. I don't talk about Zippo scores no more, man, because there's no reason to. I'll talk about your prediction on Denver and Kansas City on Monday Night Football.
Kansas City.
You sure?
You sure? The thing about this year has been the amazing areas of people's underperformance and the emerging of new leadership.
Right.
Specifically being Philadelphia,
right.
Wentz.
Right.
Even if you look at Dallas, what they're sort of trying to do.
Right.
But the teams that have other emerging talent. So we'll see. And the ones who underperform, like the Raiders, there we go. New York Giants. Just look at some of these teams. Cleveland Browns, there's still some bad areas, so we'll see.
Raiders are in a bad place. Dude, you're talking about, Buffalo spanked that ass.
It's amazing.
Dude,
but like
what
I said,
happened?
Emerging new coaches, right? Emerging new systems that are winning. And even some of the ones that are losing, the Redskins look like a different team. I mean,
there's
aspects of these teams, even in losing, that's amazingly improved.
Look, I totally believe in this. For right now, everybody's going to be on the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon because they're going to say, hey, look, they're only a couple of games behind Philadelphia. Philadelphia got the real deal. They got Wentz who's showing you that I'm here. It's my first year, and we got all the right parts in place. So we're leading this division. So Dallas is on the come up because they can only get better and learn. Washington had everybody in the beginning going like this team is coming, but Kirk Cousins is not finding, of course, his remedy or recipe to winning now. So they're going to be struggling. But Oakland, to me, is the one that everybody is going, do you know that they're last in their division? The Chargers, who everybody thought was going right, it's amazing. So, hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying it is
good for us in LA. The Rams are good.
Well, yeah, okay, tied with Seattle atop the division. They will hopefully meet again. I'm not sure. I got to check. They'll hopefully meet again. Rams are delivering better than expected. I'm not mad. And the Chargers almost had 500 ball, but, they just bad. They just couldn't do it in New England. All right, I'm not going there. I want to go to the unusual suspects. We're talking about the NBA. Now, I know, Mark, we talked about this last week where you said it's too early in the season, right? And I just sat there and said, well, that may be so, but let's just go take a look. for your eyes, Mario, because you guys can't see this display, it's a reason why. It's just really information for Mario and myself because it's not necessarily for the readables, but it's more for us to reference. The unusual suspects, dude, are leading the NBA in the Eastern and Western Conference standing. You got Detroit leading, followed by, and this is in the Eastern Conference, Washington Wizards, Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic, Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers are next, Brooklyn Nets, and then Cleveland. So you say it's still too early, right? You say it's still too early,
Well, I
right?
think that's where, when you're used to looking at statistics, you get certain. There's only 2-game difference between the top of the list and the bottom of the list. That says it all.
And another statistic you should always look at. This has happened, especially with those teams who go,
Yes,
look at point differential. Point differential is where you can still lose games, but you give up less points than you produce. Well, let's see. Cleveland is giving up 110 points a game, but only scoring at 104. There's a massive defensive lap. Now, it may take them time. I'm not saying that they won't be there, but that is not their signature to give up that many points. So is that a synergy problem because of the new players on the team?
Well, let's just say, especially when your sample size is small like this,
Right.
at least those kinds of things are significant. I agree with you totally. You can't look at the win-loss because there's not a much difference between the leaders and the bottom.
Right.
So you have to then look at other parameters.
Right.
This gives you another parameter to look at to see what it says, and it does. Even though it doesn't imply anything permanent, it applies
A
how
trend.
they're operating right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Right.
So, but it's certainly, I mean, the fact that you're at the bottom of the division with 3 wins and 4 losses, and the top person has 5 wins and 2 losses.
Right.
Yeah, that's no reason to break a sweat at all.
Well, it's the point differential. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because when I go look at the Western Conference, the same holds true as it relates to the unusual suspects, but not like the Eastern Conference. The usual suspects are supposed to battle up top. Memphis is leading, Clippers, Houston, Portland, Spurs, Golden State is now at mid-pack. Minnesota, Utah, Denver, New Orleans, and way down at the rear, at the bottom of this particular group, Oklahoma City. Now, there are only 2 games separating them, like to your point, Mario. But guess what the difference is? The difference is point differential. Oklahoma is scoring 106 points, but they only give up 96. What they're showing you is they got defense. And when you already have defense, and you start clicking on offense, you're going to go a long way. If you are giving up, that's just what Lakers were going through in a lot of teams. You give up a lot of points, it is an indictment on your defense, and teams don't win giving up a lot of points. Houston had that, and they had talent last year. Give up a lot of points, you got to constantly outscore your opponent. You have defense, you just have to work on the parts to score more. So Oklahoma's sitting here just like Cleveland, man, but they give up 10 points less than what they score. So you see them, they're going to be coming because they got strong defense. I'm concerned about Cleveland because I don't think D-Wade, I don't think Rose, and since Isaiah Thomas is not there, I just don't think they're built for defense and role playing. I think they're leaders in their own, universe, and they're just giving up too many points. It's still early.
And all come down to how they play in the playoffs. But
Right.
if you take a look at the same charts that we posted, and actually you could adjust hit the chart so that difference becomes the parameter.
Right.
If you do that, now you've got them stacked
Yep.
in the list, Vic, by what you just said, the point difference. In that case, when you look at the Western Conference, the Clippers are number 1,
Yes.
Portland's number 2, and
Yes.
Oklahoma rises to number 3.
Right. Right.
If you look in the East, Toronto Raptors, Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards, Celtics, and Cleveland down here closer to the bottom
Gives up a lot.
gives up a lot.
A lot.
So right now, based on what you were pointing out in terms of the difference between what they're allowing their opponents to score
Yeah.
and what they're scoring themselves, if you look at that
Right.
as one of the defining parameters, it sort of explains things gives you a different view
Yes.
of those same things. But it is interesting to look at.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to let you know, hey, acknowledge my crew back here, Periscope, Big O Live, Live.me, Facebook. Thank you. I just wanted to get into what I call there's the unusual suspects being in roles that they're going to have to work themselves out of. And I do believe in this philosophy. It's very hard to change over your defense overnight and then all of a sudden go from giving up a lot of points to now you're not giving up a lot of points. The difference with Cleveland, teams like that, they stand a chance of doing it. But I do believe that it becomes harder because you have to do it through the season. So while you're working to play against the next team, you don't have a lot of time to institute those defensive schemes. You're usually already having that. Something like with San Antonio, they build a formula that always show that they're going to be in the top echelon of defensive teams, and they stay that way. So, hey, look, I'm looking at Oklahoma, Cleveland, who's going to have the best record come All-Star. Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. I think the Eastern Conference has more parity, and you'll see more teams closer to 500 above, maybe even more so than the Western Conference. So there's a good chance that Oklahoma may come out having a better record than Cleveland based on their differential in defense. We'll see. But I'm out, man. That's my sports today. That's it.
Victor Allen's New Sports, recurring segment of the Morning Cover with Mario show. Here every week, get Victor Allen's unique fan-based view of sports. Remember to dress appropriately, sports draws, and jock straps. Be part of the big picture every Monday. Yeah. Sport for your ass.
Yeah, nah, man. You know we gotta do a joint for the ladies, right? So every club worldwide, we gonna move y'all like this. Come on, bounce, bounce, bounce. Big girl, big girl, big girl, big girl, big girl. Friday night when the club lines be out the door. Watch the